During Del Mar College's Mexican-American Studies Seminar, you will learn from many of your neighbors, that is, some powerful and interesting stories. And our Madeline Salinas joins us live once again with one presenter who's sharing her family's stories through photographs. Madeline.
Good morning, John Thomas. You talk about important stories. I have somebody here with me. This is Rosalinda Reynoso, who has a very important story and has chosen to decide to share her story and photos at the event coming up this Saturday. Well, first of all, thank you for being here. And tell me a little bit about, when you decided to start telling your story and sharing those photos with people.
Well, it was about 7 years ago. Yes, about 7 years ago. I had some pictures. I didn't know that, those pictures would one day be very important, very visual part of the story, my story. So I just decided to get it together and just explain what they were, where we were, where we started, how long, stuff like that.
And so, it was a while ago, right? But what do you remember about those days and being a migrant worker and working with your family?
Well, I certainly remember the first year because it was 1969 and it was the summer that we had the first man on the moon. So I remember that. Of course, at that time, I wasn't paying attention to national news as much because that was, we were young. But I remember some details on every year that we went. We went for several years, maybe like 8 or 9 years. And so it was different. I want to say it was different every year at the beginning, but the last 7 years or so, we were going to the one fields, one rancher. So that was nice.
Yeah, and so, why is it so important to share these photos with people and to celebrate your roots at an event like this?
Well, because I know that there's others out there that have a story. I know because every time I presented my presentation, I hear the feedback, and after the Q&A, there's more Q&A, the one-on-one, and I know that there's others out there, and they can relate to it. Yes, and those that can't, well, it's a learning experience.
Yes,
so.
Yes, ma'am. Well, thank you for joining us, and thank you for telling us a little bit about your story this morning. If you want to hear more about Miss Rosalinda's story, you can come to the Mexican-American Studies Seminar this Saturday, and we're going to have all that information linked on our website at KIITV.com, and we have more exciting stuff coming up. So I'm going to toss it back to you, Carly, in the studio.